Hey, happy travelers, vacation travel hacks here. We are continuing to ask important questions. This time, we are comparing the cost of going to Disneyland versus Walt Disney World. And they're two different experiences. If you've gone to one versus the other, it might seem like you're going to the same place, but believe me, they are certainly not the same. And we're about to find out whether or not one costs more than the other. And I'm certainly excited about this. As a matter of fact, Disneyland was the very first Disney park that I went to. And as I'm sure you can tell by the narrative of all my videos, once you go to Disney, it kind of sticks with you. But we always ask the important questions of, hey, cost is important. Right now, we're in a time of inflation. So let's see what we can do here and answer the important questions. So right off the bat, when you go to Disneyland, you will have two predominant hotel options that are available on the Disneyland website. So we picked a week. Oh, it's worth noting, by the way, if you're thinking of going to Disneyland, unlike Disney World that lets you plan out, I think they're booking out through the end of 2024 now. Disneyland books in like very small, tight windows. For example, it's August. You can book out through the end of the year. You typically can't book out more than 6 months. Like right now, I can't book out more than 4 months. So if you're thinking about it, once those windows open up, the prices are probably going to be as cheap as they're going to be. And, early bird gets the worm. That's my advice here. So 5 days, one park per day, November 5th through the 11th, $6,800 at the Grand California Hotel. If you've never been to Disneyland, this hotel is like the contemporary, the boardwalk, the beach club of the Disneyland property, except it's better because when you walk out the hotel, you're literally at the gate at the Grand California or the Grand Californian theme park. So that is certainly worth noting there. The other option is not too terribly further away. It's the Disneyland Hotel, which is the classic. Got the nice banner there. About $600 cheaper to stay for the same dates at this particular establishment. All right, now Disneyland, not so much Disney World. You know how Disney World has like Disney Springs hotels. You got the Swan and the Dolphin. Those are like the good neighbor hotels. Disneyland actually relies a little bit more heavily on the good neighbor hotels. They got a couple roads. South Harbor is a good example where a lot of hotels, feed in. And this is one of the hotels. This is one of the closest hotels that's not a Disney hotel to the entrance. It's called the Park View Inn. You buy your tickets separately. You can get 5-day park tickets, $1,660 just standalone tickets. That's for 4 people, one park per day. And you can stay at the Park View Inn, 2 queens, and that's $1,600, almost $1,700 with an average nightly rate. So the hotel is back where they took the picture at. Got a little gift shop here. I believe Denny's is right over here next to the bush. And all these people are crossing the crosswalk here in Disneyland is all this away. And it's about a 3/4 of a mile walk. And it is the closest, but they got Marriott's a little bit to the left. They got Hilton's a little bit to the right. And so you got a lot of options there. I recommend Googling that. So you can't really beat that. That's going to be about $3,400 for the 5 days off property, which if you compare it to what you saw here at Disneyland and the Grand Californian, that's literally a savings of 50%. And well, as they say, that's worth it. Now, Disney. Before we go over to Disney World, one of the key differences, if you've never been there, is all the layout feels familiar, but it is a different experience. Pirates of the Caribbean, they got the ride there, but it's a different, especially if you go before Halloween. Woo, that is fantastic. The Nightmare Before Christmas layout that they have there. So the Haunted Mansion is just something you got to see. Pirates of the Caribbean's a little different. They got Space Mountain, a little different. They got things that you don't even have at Disney World, like the Indiana Jones ride. You got the Matterhorn, et cetera, et cetera. So that's I'm excited talking about it. I'm excited to talk Disney, and I'm sure you're here because you like hearing about it. But let's compare to our options for Walt Disney World. So 4 days, staying the 12th through the 18th, 2 adults, 2 kids, $3,300. That's pretty reasonable, and that's during the off peak times, and that was actually I applied the 25% off a discount. You won't see too many discounts at Disneyland. Well, Disney World, a lot more volume, especially in between school break periods. they want to get you in there to help experience that. So, long story short, we can go in with the verdict. Disney World, $3,300-ish. There's more Disney properties, and you'll probably stay at Disney and get the Disney experience and the transportation versus Disneyland. If you're staying at Disneyland Hotel and you get tickets, you're looking at about $6,300 to $7,000, and it can go up if you want, like the premier rooms or whatever. But if you stay at a good neighbor hotel, and there's a good many of them, it's about $3,400. So team, we've come to our very first versus video where it is literally a wash. And you consider, even if you're flying, let's pretend you fly to Orlando and you're flying to the Anaheim area. The John Wayne Airport, for example, is the airport that services Disneyland. If it's cheaper to go to LAX, it's a little further away. Transportation, the transportation cost actually is the same. The food it's marginally more expensive in Disneyland versus Disney World. So I'm telling you, if there ever was a wash for like days and a new experience, think of the selfies you can get. The castle. Let me warn you, if you're frequent Disney World, the castle at Disneyland is miniature. It's not. It is much smaller. As a matter of fact, when I went there as a kid, I thought it was huge, and now it is smaller. But nevertheless, still Disney. So we'll wrap it up by saying, which one is more expensive? It's a wash. So until the next video, I will talk to you then.